What's up, everybody? This is the Anime Squad Podcast, episode 35. My name is Robbie.
And this is David.
And unfortunately, once again, Omar is not here present in this week's episode of the Anime Squad Podcast. He'll be here hopefully next week. We'll have the whole crew together. But before we start, I also want to mention that we're going to be doing something a little different this week. We're going, instead of giving our usual play-by-play style that you guys are probably used to by now, we're going to be trying out a sort of a reaction style on what we think of the episode, certain things that kind of like stuck out to us the most, etc. And if you guys like our new style, please be sure to leave a comment down below. And then, of course, like always, just be sure to like and subscribe if you guys like our content. Really helps us out. And let's get this show on the road. And to start things off, we're gonna be going in with a little bit of a banger. The final season of Attack on Titan, episode 1, is finally out, and we finally get to talk about this. I'm super excited. First off, I guess a little bit of background. I'm all caught up with the manga of Attack on Titan, and David and Omar here have mainly just been keeping up with the anime. They have no idea as to what the manga is like or anything like that, so they don't know anything regarding what happens from the story here on. And for starters, David, I want to ask you, what did you think of the first episode?
Confused. It was a good confused though.
Yeah, it's like kind of leaves you intrigued. Leaves you to kind of like think on what's happening, huh?
Yeah, for me, I thought that were like. This was years already passed by.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I feel like in real life too, because Attack on Titan as a series has been around since 2013, and for a lot of people, this has been their first anime. So getting to know that this is the final season really pulls things back together, really. And this first episode really I feel really accentuates okay, so first off, Eren, all of them, they're not here in this episode at all. Instead, we got Gabby, we got Falco, we got Colt, we got entirely brand new characters. With a couple of returning characters, we got Reiner and we got Zeke, mostly all the couple of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And yeah, they I feel like they blew it out of the park. Even though this season in particular is being done by Studio Mappa and not WIT, I feel like we're gonna be in good hands, because when we saw that scene where Reiner transforms and he's in his Armor Titan form, I don't know, man. I felt like it kicked a lot of ass, all around.
Okay.
That's how I saw it. And then again, Zeke, these are all bad guys, but Zeke doing his own thing, fighting all the Eldians and stuff. It was, I don't know, it felt like it all pulled everything together. My favorite part of the episode in general was just, I guess just seeing Reiner come back again, just kind of seeing familiar faces, and such, kind of give us that updated look as to kind of how Reiner looks. And you can tell that man is all destroyed on the inside after everything he's been through, which of course he's the bad guy, but again, I'm not going to say anything else anymore after this part, because, we have only gotten a snippet of the few characters, a little bit of an insight as to kind of what's in offer.
Yes.
But all around, I feel like that this final season adaptation is really faithful, including the art style, which of course has gotten a little bit of a change and whatnot.
I guess through the episode, it was like a D-Day.
Yeah. yes.
It just gave me the feel of a D-Day.
Huge D-Day feel to it and everything like that. Absolutely. It was not looking good for the other guys, but hey, like I said, we got a somewhat of a new cast of characters. In a lot of ways, it doesn't feel like anything that we've seen from Attack on Titan up until this point. And I'm just looking forward to seeing a lot of my favorite scenes come to life in anime form, and I'm just in it for the ride, and just waiting to see you guys react to this.
Yeah, to me in general, it feels like a new anime.
Yeah,
it's like if it's its own story.
For sure, definitely. And yeah, anything else you want to add to this episode? I think we pretty much said everything we needed to say, huh?
I guess for first impression, I give it a solid 7.
7? Okay,
7.
not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. For me, like I said, it's super faithful to the adaptation that it's based off of. Animation, I feel like, made a great transition. I'm gonna give it an 8.5, honestly. Like,
okay.
I would have given it a 9, but again, I just kind of want to keep things kind of moderate, kind of keep things reasonable for now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just leave it at an 8.5 for now. I'm expecting a lot of great things. And I'm hoping this delivers.
Opening was it was cool.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I'd say so. I mean, it's different. It's very different. Not exactly something I guess that we're used to from Attack on Titan, because there's a lot of Attack on Titan's openings are legendary, I feel. So this one I feel like is gonna take a little bit to get used to, but I feel like it's got potential. The song, I really like the song, by the way.
Yeah.
I need to give it another listen, but yeah, it's pretty solid.
Okay.
Now moving on, we're going to be moving to RWBY, Volume 8, Episode 5. And there's a lot more happening in this episode. I feel like the ball is finally rolling with the plot. I wouldn't say a lot of good things are happening. Like, this one is a little bit of a Debbie Downer kind of episode as well. I mean, we get to see a lot of a lot of villains kind of have their own spotlight in a sense. Like Cinder, Neapolitan, kind of has their own time to shine and everything. And Penny gets to fight back as well. Kind of gets to see how Penny gets to do her thing without having to rely on Team RWBY or anything like that. And it was that fight was all around pretty fun, I'd say.
Most of the episode was towards them, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you did see RWBY in the end, but
that was funny. That was just a recording.
Yeah. I was surprised. I didn't realize that it was a recording until RWBY was looking into it. I honestly thought it was just a live thing, which at first I was thinking man, this wouldn't make sense if it was a live recording, because as soon as he pressed broadcast, RWBY automatically knew. He was waiting all that time. So but I feel regardless of the fact that Ironwood and all them are trying to reboot Penny so that way she doesn't interfere with all that. It's I'm pretty sure the message went across. There's not really much that they kind of lost out of that, so they were gonna tamper it and remotely, mess around with Penny circuits and stuff.
For me, I thought they were gonna tamper with the swords.
Yeah, with the technology. Yeah,
technology around her.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, when you explain it that way, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel for me, I kind of figured that something like this was gonna happen, and sure enough, it did. I guess my question is that how do they even know that she was involved in getting that broadcast to work? Because technically speaking, that wasn't the original intention. The whole reason why Penny needed to push that whole satellite in the first place was because Cinder messed it up. Again, leaves us in a kind of bad place where Penny is literally hurling, crash landing face first into the atmosphere, burning up the process. And again, things aren't looking too good.
Penny won the fight.
Oh yeah, by far, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a that was a clean cut victory. That was my favorite part, honestly. Was like seeing, well, first off the action, of course, but the fact that like she was able to hold her own and also defeat Cinder as well. Like you can definitely tell that Cinder is hasn't really been has definitely seen better days.
The funny thing is that she's still not following the rules.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I wonder what's gonna happen now.
Yeah, and then worse off is that, you know, on the part that we left off of too, you see a river of Grim heading towards Atlas. So yeah, all around not looking too great.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess moving on to our next anime, we're gonna be talking about Onyx Equinox, episode 3. And oh my god, I need to talk about this right here. Okay, so I know this anime has been, or the show, I guess, you know, has been getting a lot of flack in regards to its voice acting and everything. And personally, I didn't really notice it too much. In fact, if anything, I've noticed that the Volcano God, again, name on the screen, you know, who's voiced by Aaron Hansen, is actually really good at what he does, because obviously Aaron Hansen's a really talented voice actor. But this episode, I can definitely see what people are talking about with the voice acting. In particular, okay, so there's one scene in particular in this episode where Ezel was yelling at his guardian, I guess, his former guardian that was taking care of him and Nelly. And man, that line delivery, like I guess when he was yelling at his father, it didn't pull off too well. Again, that was just him in that one line. But then we hear Ezel's dad, and oh my goodness, the voice acting was just, it was really bad. Like when he was talking with Ezel, like talking about how like he didn't mean to abandon Nelly and everything like that. We even get a flashback, you know, referring back to what happened and everything. And of course Ezel brings up the fact that like, oh, you indirectly, you caused Nelly to die, because if you didn't abandon us, then she wouldn't have been chosen as a sacrifice and everything. You know, he's totally justified. But oh my god, when I was hearing that voice acting, it didn't really pull me out of it, but at the same time I'm like, oh man, I can hear what people are talking about.
To me, he didn't affect me as much as Ezel in general.
Yeah.
I feel like Ezel needs to put a more... Oh, the voice.
Yeah.
The voice, yeah.
I think it's worse because, like, I do agree. I think in that case, yes, it is worse because Ezel's the main character. Like, this is just the father character.
And there's some scenes where I think the animation has more pain. You know?
Yes.
Like, when you see the character itself on the screen, he looks more in pain.
Yeah.
And when the voice comes in, I don't feel the... Yeah,
like I feel like this kind of suffers the same problem that like RWBY season like 1 had, where like, you know, these people, the voice actors are still not used to, I guess, to like voice acting in general. So, for them to kind of properly convey like emotion and stuff, like it doesn't really sit well, or it doesn't settle well. I feel like the voice actors are still trying to like kind of settle into their roles in order to kind of like get a good feel for like what their characters is. But yeah, like away from the voice acting though, and you know, back to the actual episode itself, the plot is like, it's kind of cool too, kind of like regarding the setup for this episode, because Yaudel, the guardian, I guess, the guardian panther, wants Ezel to go to the city to touch a ball, and instead of him touching it, it was actually the two other sons that the dad, I guess, ended up raising instead. Oh my goodness, though, these two goofballs, I couldn't get into them as much either.
I hate one of the twins, man.
Oh yeah, because okay, so their whole gimmick is that like these are twins, and one of them, they're named Yoon and Ken. Don't ask me as to who's who first, because again, we barely got introduced to them. I barely remember their names, but anyway, one of them is kind of nice, and then one of them is kind of mean. And by kind of mean, I mean like
he's a douchebag.
No, absolutely, but like for no reason really, because like he talks down to Ezel as if like he's known
like
Ezel.
He known him for years.
Yeah, exactly, and like realistically, no, they barely met for like that first day, and then that was it.
And I could picture maybe the that's his tough way to say to people and stuff. Maybe because we got introduced to him too. So
yeah, absolutely. And like, but the thing is that like for me is just what kind of takes me out of it for these two characters is the fact that like these two were just like sportsmen basically. They play ball, and then that's it. That's like their main skill. But for some reason, like now, they're like, oh, we touched a legendary ball. We know everything that needs to, that we need to do in terms of combat.
I think in general, like historically, or they know the stories. Of it. So
right.
they know about the story.
They know I guess they understand in regards to like the demons and like how the gods of course work and everything.
Yeah.
So I think in that regard it is fine. But yeah, I mean, all in all, it was a solid episode, I'd say. Like again, we got to see Azel do.
It was crazy with the mutilating people.
Oh,
the two guys.
Yeah.
The two guards.
This show gets down and dirty with the violence. Oh, I forgot to mention. This show throws in a couple of curse words just to show you guys how adult it is, which I've not noticed in the first and second episodes. I felt like they didn't have they didn't have any curse words at all, but this one actually throws in like a good 3 or 4 F-bombs, for good measure. Just to make sure we're clear that anime is not for kids.
Maybe because of a different town.
I guess so, yeah. So, maybe some sailors might be running their town. Who knows? But regardless, from where we left off, now we got Yun and Ken joining the party, so.
And we, at the end, I guess a teaser.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They showed a girl in the end of this episode. And yeah, I guess the thing I'm hoping for the most is 2 things. One, character development for Yun and Ken, so that way they feel more fleshed out. And 2 is the voice actors to feel more comfortable in their roles, and for the evidently just get better.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Now.
We're keep. No wait. Oh yeah, we're keeping.
Yeah. Oh, I guess we should probably mention this right now. We're keeping Onyx Equinox.
Yes.
We don't have Omar with us, but I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
Yeah, he's from the first episode we saw. He's been on board.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad to say though that like we've seen more episodes of Onyx Equinox than he has at this point, because he's only been here with us for that one. But again, he'll catch up. So
he'll catch up.
He'll be like he's with us, even though he's not.
All right.
Now moving on. We're gonna be talking about Fire Force Season 2, Episode 23. Now,
this was a good episode.
This was a solid episode. Yeah, I was worried because last episode I thought that we wouldn't really have any arcs to really follow anymore. But this one says, you know what? We don't need a full-on arc. We can just we can go by with just being able to tell by first off being able to tell the backstory as to why Konro could be able to link up with the Adalink, as well as also give us more insight in regards to what actually happened when he fought that demon infernal.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that whole thing.
Though what got me interested in this in his backstory the most is the concept of the doppelganger. And the origin of and the origin of kind of like who that infernal was that he was fighting. Because I saw that, I'm like, that's really weird. Like, why is this infernal have like the exact same abilities as Konro? That was really, really interesting.
I like that the Hibana followed. Shiner.
It gives us more screen time with Hibana, and it's kind of funny that like the Shinra's like, why are you following me? You don't need to be in here. I'm like, nah, she does. She's barely even in this season. So come on, give her some. Let her be there. She needs to soak in more to let us be more familiar with her.
I know.
I know. Poor Sho too, because Sho, oh my goodness, he got done dirty. I've touched on it a little bit last episode, but Shogo was done dirty in this season, like both figuratively and literally. Being turned into a puppet, not being allowed to kind of do your own thing just because of the fact that you showed emotion for your brother and stuff. I mean, come on, let it fuel his rage if anything. I mean, he doesn't have to be a good guy, but at the very least, let him redeem his honor or something like that.
Hey,
Come
man,
on.
he's controlled.
I get it. He's controlled, but come on, just let him be angry or something.
It's
let
the
him
bad guys, though.
I get it. Yeah, they got their own stuff. I guess they got to take care of. So, but yeah, we got Conroe's backstory, and then on top of that, we also look more into Tamaki's backstory as well. Which I guess side little detail, we also get Shinra and Arthur training. Okay, it's not really training. It's they're literally just trying to roast them alive, and they have to toughen up from the fire.
Yeah, I have a feeling he's training them in a way.
It is training, but it's mostly played for laughs, if anything. It's just funny seeing them kind of in a rotisserie kind of style.
I had a feeling. I thought it was the previous arc where they had to take the fire in.
Yeah.
To withstand the fire.
Yeah.
That's what I got from that.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Yeah, it could be that. But like I said, that's not important. The anime is.
Oh yeah.
This episode was very clear that okay, that's not important. The important thing is Tamaki.
Yeah.
It's all about her. So why she's part of the fire force, why she was interested in becoming a sister, and it just so happens that she
it was kind of normal.
Yeah.
It was literally a normal thing.
Yeah, she became a third generation. I think the only thing that kind of got to her was the fact that I got my lecture lure or something, kind of because she always has that kind of tendency to, oh my goodness, my boobs are in your face. Oh no.
The tripping.
Yeah, the tripping and all that stuff, and her clothes flying off. So obviously the other girls are jealous. They're like, oh, why do you even wear pigtails in the first place in middle school of all things? And she's like, oh, because I feel because it's like floppy ears, like a cute animal. I'm just like, oh my god,
that was adorable.
That was cute, yeah. And then, but I'm glad with everything being said, she was able to go full out, because the whole thing regarding as to why that happened is the fact that she did the same thing that Shinra was doing. She's running away from the two twins that's under the Asakasa squadron, and Benimaru's like, okay, you two go after Tamaki, chase her down.
That was
a minute.
Funny.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that Benimaru did that, even though he didn't technically train her.
Yeah.
He was there in the back.
Oh yeah. I mean, come on. He's Benimaru. He
after that
what
fight.
He did, after what he did with Joker. Oh my goodness, that was a ragtag. That was a perfect team up combo right there.
He felt like one of those martial art masters.
Yeah, like those martial arts masters, badasses and stuff.
Yeah,
dude. Oh my goodness, he was amazing. But yeah, all around, Benimaru was able to keep tabs, and then we also got to see Tamaki go full force. So that was really cool, because I've said this before, that Tamaki felt like she wasn't really.
No, she said she was the weak one.
Yeah, she even admitted that she couldn't pull her weight when everybody needed her, which is why Hajiki had to die, and Juggernaut is crippled basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tamaki was able to step up to the plate and unlock her next ability.
I like the fact she said, "Oh, this is not just to feel sorry for me or anything.
Yeah.
I want to just train to get better."
She just wants to get better so she can be able to save more lives. Yeah, that's very noble.
Yeah.
Oh, but we also got to see more Rekka though, right?
Oh god.
Man, for a dead guy, this guy is getting a lot of more appearances than we thought, huh?
Hey man, that were part of his life.
I guess so, yeah. Rekka had a huge influence on a lot of people, whether
yes he did.
People liked it or not.
He's a big star.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, all around it was a solid episode. It was pretty good. My favorite, of course, being Tamaki and Conroe's backstory. I feel like those two in particular like needed more, fleshing out. Tamaki in particular way more. So that was really nice to see. All right, now moving on, we're gonna be going to Adachi to Shimamura, episode 9. Oh man, I can't wait to try out this new format with this anime, because now we can actually be able to dissect it more in ways that I feel like feels more appropriate with the show rather than the
more
play-by-play.
more emotion towards you than her.
Exactly. Yes.
What do you think? Yeah.
So in regards to what we think, yes. I just think that like Adachi. I feel like the more we see this, like the more idea that we can get between Adachi and Shimamura's relationship, because like again, like there's not a lot of like material. Yes, exactly. There's not a lot of material that goes on in regards to events that happen, but more so the emotional weight that kind of carries over from each episode to each episode. Like you can definitely see how Shimamura kind of carries herself in regards to her personality and kind of like her confidence, and compared to Adachi, who's not as confident, but she's more aware of her feelings for Shimamura than Shimamura might even be.
Yeah, we see it the most.
Yes, exactly. And like I feel like the daydreams that we see with Adachi have been ever so increasing, especially with this episode, especially when she was talking about like how she wanted to be Shimamura's like puppy, or like no, she didn't want to be, but she kind of felt like she was, because Shimamura talking to her as if she was like a puppy basically, and so she kind of imagined herself like that. I'm like, okay,
that was kind of weird.
That was kind of an interesting way of seeing your situation, but whatever.
As a friend.
As a friend, yes, that is the most important thing.
What is that term? Man's best friend?
Yes, exactly. Or I guess in this case, woman's best friend.
Yes.
Yeah, and then and it's kind of okay. And another thing that I like about this episode was kind of how they handled the Tarumi, the Tarumi hangout that Shimamura had. Instead of it showing outright as to kind of how they hung out, they do it in segments in a way. So at first they kind of show them hanging out, and then they first get to hanging out, and then at pretty much while Adachi and Shimamura were hanging out during Valentine's Day, they cut to what happened the day before, and oh my god, it was so awkward. Shimamura hanging out with Tarumi was like, oh my god, it felt so cringe inducing, because like it was like every single like thing not to do when hanging out with a friend, but at the same time it's like it feels very realistic, you know what I mean? Like when you see a friend that you haven't seen in a good decade, or whatever, you typically don't know how they are as people. Yeah. And so this really captures that.
For me, I think they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
For me, Shimamura, you know how she has hard times with her feelings sometimes.
Yes.
So that's why we didn't even see her come out at all.
No, not at all.
So most of the time that would be looking away, or they'll say something, but it would be like a small comment and that's it. And I'm like, damn, they're not open, both of them at least.
Mm-hmm.
Until the very end of that scene where she finally opens up her feelings in general.
Right, exactly. It feels really real, and I think what kind of drives this to work more is the fact that a couple episodes ago when we see this is something that I noticed, but a couple episodes ago when we first get introduced to Tarumi, Shimamura actually remembers Tarumi, but it's actually kind of hazy. Like you see them kind of hang out when they were in elementary school, but it's kind of hazy. You don't really see their faces all that well. At first I was thinking, oh, maybe this is just to kind of show us more details later. But now I'm thinking about it, I think that might just be how Shimamura was remembering how she used to hang out with her friend. That she remembers her, but she doesn't remember the details all that much.
Well, yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't think you're gonna remember your elementary school friends. You know, people tend to growing up. You know. Mm-hmm. In general, so that's why.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely. Cause like, you know, it's especially more awkward when like someone remembers you like really, really well, but the other person doesn't remember you all that well. Especially if it's like, you know, if it's like me, for instance, you know, where it's like somebody remembers me really well. It's like, hey, you know, Robbie, I remember you, but like.
But you're not the same person.
Exactly. Oh yeah, and then that too, yeah, because people change all the time, especially when you go from childhood to adulthood. You know, you don't. It's not always a surefire kind of like easy answer if you're gonna be like the same person that you were when you were a kid. Yeah, there's a lot of different ifs and buts and a lot of different factors in general. So that's basically what all of that combined was basically what was going on with Shimamura, and none of that was more evident than when Terumi was asking Shimamura, what, like, hey Shimamura, hey Shima-chan, do you remember what you used to call me? And Shimamura was like, nope, I don't remember a thing as to what I called you. And that hurt. That hurt a lot. And then like right before they were like, you know, just saying goodbye, it's like, oh man, that was painful. That was painful to watch.
But then she finally said it.
She finally said it. She remembered. It's funny too because you even like get to see her like thinking face. She's like, she's really trying. She's really trying her best. And then that's when she remembered. Taru. That's when she called her out and it's like, yay, you remembered. But what made this trip even more important was kind of what it was kind of cool is what it leads to into in regards to her hanging out with Adachi. And that like when they were hanging out, when her and Terumi were hanging out in Nagoya, they noticed a little banner that kind of shows, oh, this is all the people in love that get to show off kind of, you know, their greetings and stuff
for Valentine's
Day. And she was like, yeah, I can do that. And that's what she did. That's why she brought. That's why her and Adachi go to Nagoya, check out that banner, and then boom.
Best friends
forever, yay!
And for Shimamura, Jesus. And Adachi's like, why?
Yeah, I know. Like Adachi, it was kind of like a roller coaster of emotions. She's like, I don't know if I want to do this. It's like, I mean, like, I don't know if I should be happy or if I should be sad. I mean, she is a really close friend of mine, but like,
she wants more.
But in the end, she kind of learned a little thing from good old Tamaki from Fire Force. And that's the power of tripping, baby.
Jeez.
She tripped and she got the type of hug that she wanted. She got the bosom hug.
It looked painful.
It did look painful, but you know what? She still got what she wanted. She got her Valentine's Day present.
Jeez.
But yeah, it was all around a wholesome episode.
Yeah.
Alright, now we move on to the next anime we're going to be wanting to talk about, Majo no Tabitabi, episode 10. And this one is entirely a Fran and Sheila episode.
And mom.
And yeah, and Elena's mom, surprisingly. No, okay, so I have a question with that. Did they actually hard confirm? Because, okay, we know that this is her mom, with the hair and the face and everything. Did they for sure hard confirm that it was the mom though?
No.
Okay, yeah.
But it's kind of obvious.
It is obvious. Absolutely obvious. Especially like towards the end of the episode where they showed the house.
Yeah.
Like that was completely obvious. Yeah, but I was just wondering.
I don't think they're gonna even give her a name.
No. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah. She's just
you're right. She's just Elena's mom.
Elena, the teacher.
Or I guess in this case the teacher, yeah. Yeah, and speaking of which, like this was a cool, all around cool episode to see, like between Fran and Sheila, just kind of seeing how they
Get her
met
story.
and just their backstories in general. I do want to say that compared to side by side comparison to when they were young, Fran looks a lot different, but Sheila not so much. Like to me, I feel like Sheila, and that's fine. You know, people can change physically. You know, depending on the person. But I feel like Sheila is just kind of like you just kind of size her down a little, and just give her a cigarette instead of that pipe, and then there you go, you get Sheila. But Fran looks a lot different though. Fran, in my opinion, looks closer. And I'm pretty sure this is intentional. But Fran, in my opinion, looks closer to Elaina, how she used to look, than she does like Fran. No? Nah. I feel like I kind of feel like it is. Maybe I need to see her design again. But I feel like I do feel kind of like a little bit of sort of what's the word? Like essence in a sense. If that makes sense.
To me, they're just, I guess, they look just young. The younger versions of them, if anything. And then yeah, the episode itself was enjoyable. I liked it.
Oh yeah.
We gotta know,
absolutely.
We gotta know their backstories from both. Sheila was pretty much Aladdin. She was a thief.
Yeah. She actually. So it's kind of funny. So the way they formatted it was kind of like a flashback within a flashback. So she actually got to see her when she was even younger, and she got to use her powers in order to steal coins and stuff like that and everything, just to make ends meet and everything. She called herself a stray cat. But Fran was even more like simple. She's like, oh, there's no mages from where I'm from, so I just want to be the first one. So that way I could have stuff to do when I get back home.
Yeah, that was the most. We didn't get no flashback of that.
No, we didn't need to.
Because we didn't need to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and even like the main premise of the episode was pretty standard. Like it was great mainly because you get to see Fran and Sheila interact with each other. Them like hating each other at first. Oh yeah, and then Mom, of course. Them hating each other at first, you know, Mom trying to get them to get along and everything, even though they were so similar in terms of their abilities and stuff.
Damn.
They're similar in terms of their abilities, but not in terms of their personality.
I wonder how powerful the mom is.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something to kind of look into for sure.
Because you know both teachers are like pretty powerful.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that's what got me thinking. I'm like, damn, these girls are tough.
Oh yeah. And
two apprentices, not even one,
no,
two.
Yeah, I didn't even know. I honestly thought that, like, you know, when it comes to taking an apprentice, you have to only take one. But if you want to start a school, then you can be able to take, like, you know, multiple students and stuff. But I guess in this world you can take two, no problem.
For her. It was funny too when she worded the mission or the reward thingy. Because she made it look like it's gonna be her, but no, it was the two apprentices.
Oh yeah. I kind of saw that. I kind of figured that it was going to be more related to Fran and Sheila because, like, again, they're not getting along. She wants to make sure that they do, and I mean, it was kind of extreme though because she did say that, like, okay, if you don't pass this mission, you're being expelled. I thought that was kind of extreme, but
I thought it was funny.
I mean, yeah, it's funny, but like I said, it's extreme.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, you do this, you're out. You don't do this, you're out.
Hey man, she's strict.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, she's caring, but she's also very strict. You know, she knows how to get the job done.
Yeah, so that's why she put her faith on both of them.
Yeah, and I mean, hey, it worked out. Obviously, you know, they're still in the business.
And it's funny how they got named.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The way they got named after they passed and they became like legit witches. Fran was named the Stardust Witch. while Sheila was named into the Night Witch. And the reason why is because their hair, it's based off of their hair color, but actually the opposite. Because even though Sheila has bright blonde hair and Fran has dark black hair, they could have easily just been named their respective color. But Elena's mom intentionally switched around their hair color, scheme names and stuff because she thought it was fun, and it's just more so to remind them of each other. And I thought that was really sweet.
And they're still friends.
Yeah, and they're still friends to this day. They were going out for a vacation, and Sheila had to go back. But yeah,
Yeah,
all around great. And we did get to see Elaina for a little bit there, but regardless of that, I feel like them having their own episode was still fine. It was still great.
For side characters, that was pretty cool.
Absolutely, yeah. And hey, more friends, so hell yeah. All right, now moving on, we finally get a new episode for Sigurdrifa, episode 9. After last week's recap episode, we get a continuation of the events to come, and it was pretty solid. I would say wasn't as enjoyable as Majo no Tabitabi, but it doesn't need to be.
It was kind of sad.
Yeah, it was still kind of sad. I mean, I feel like with this anime, especially lately, it's just been one sad thing after another. So this one, I think the biggest takeaway from this is that it had its happy moment. You had Sonoka absolutely in a wreck. This is her lowest point, I think, by far.
Yeah.
And then having her come back, I feel like is something that like we, the audience, really needed to kind of keep this going. And I feel like it worked. I think for what it worked. But I feel like the real sad part was what came from Azuzu and Claudia and their entourage.
That soldier
when they went to Asgard. Yeah, that was kind of sad. Like one of the dudes, he got cut real bad.
We didn't know the character at all.
No,
but I was still sad for the guy.
Yeah, cause like he could have easily just been like, no, we gotta retreat. But the dude was like manned up. He's like, no, this is the end for me, and I'm going to do whatever I can.
I'm pretty shot up at this point.
Yeah, I'm pretty shot up, so I'm gonna do what I can to get these bastards, up and running, blow them to Kingdom Come. But yeah, he blew himself up, and it was kind of sad that he didn't really get much fanfare at all. And not fanfare, but like more so that like he wasn't like remembered at all. Like I was kind of. I get it that like the Valkyries are obviously like the top dogs when it comes to like when it comes to soldier the force of like of your army and stuff. I wish some of these soldiers had more character. Yeah, because I get where the anime is going. It's supposed to give you more importance on the Valkyries themselves, but come on, I feel like if you want to have a whole, you gotta have every piece needs to be present, and I feel like the same definitely goes for the soldiers too. Like they put in a lot of work themselves, and when they do something as selfless as like a self-sacrifice in order to kind of let everybody else continue on, I feel like they deserve a little bit of fanfare. Just like in episode 3 when that pilot was wounded in action, and he passed away at the hospital. Like he was, I feel like he got a lot more honor than, I don't know. It was just kind of stuck to me. Regardless though, like all around this, the anime definitely did get the ball rolling in terms of going, being more uplifting for sure. And also dark too, because apparently the pillars react to life, and not just any life. Young children, babies, and just weak human energy in general. And the pillars, the thing that they love the most when it comes to weak human energy is baby energy. Because when they find out that a baby's being born, or like a baby's just about born or anything like that, that's what they want to strike, because they hate humanity. And what's the easiest way to eliminating humanity? Just eliminate all the kids. messed up psychology, but I mean, it works, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it explains why these pillars attack. Why these pillars attack when they do, as well as kind of the origin behind it. Because thankfully the whole trip to Valhalla wasn't entirely in vain, and they were able to find out that according to Norse mythology, Ragnarok, which is the event of when the world is engulfed in flames and ending, it kind of already happened already. However, Odin thinks that it's going to happen rather than it already have happened. Because why? Because Norse mythology itself has been forgotten. Oh no, what shall we do? So I guess this kind of established that Odin is a bad guy, which I don't know. I feel like from the first episode that was kind of obvious. He wasn't exactly a good guy. In fact, I was kind of surprised that he was like with the good guys when him and Claudia were talking. I'm like, wait, what? I thought Odin was a bad guy, but I guess he wasn't. But hey, big reveal, right? Oh no, the giant was actually Thor. Oh, but Thor and Odin were together. Oh. Yeah, I mean, all around, it was an episode that again was for the most part somber, but it kind of took a more uplifting kind of tone, so it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Alright, next anime we're going to be talking about is I'm Standing on a Million Lives, and oh boy, okay, so where to begin with this one? If Sigurdrifa wasn't as, I guess, entertaining as Majo no Tabitabi, this one definitely is a nosedive in comparison to Sigurdrifa, because this one was boring. This one was very boring. This episode basically has a lot of the problems that we had with previous not so great episodes of this anime.
I think this show in general falls down whenever flashbacks come in.
Yes. Oh my goodness, the flashbacks. It's okay. So I want to establish that it's good to have flashbacks when it's establishing something that we haven't seen before. In Fire Force's case, it's flashbacks of Konro and Tamaki, information that we haven't seen before. And with this, this is just stuff that we've seen before. They show Iu's backstory, and it shows Iu's flashbacks, and it shows her senpai again. Okay, this is like the 4th time we've seen this. Okay, Kusue's backstory, where she wants to be stronger, and she tries to save that kid. Probably the 5th time we've seen this. The Yotsuya with the bear, like it's all stuff that we've seen before. Like, it would have been nice if they used this opportunity to flesh out Yuka more, because all we know about Yuka is that she's super into eroge, and that's it mainly. I guess she was bullied from when they were in the real world, and that's about it. Yep, that's all we know about Yuka.
So for me in this episode was boring because I think pretty much their whole goal was just to make it make it to the certain point.
Yeah,
and that was it.
Yeah, okay.
That whole episode.
Yeah, because the last episode established that there were 2 goals that the team needed to perform in order for them to advance to the next mission. One was that they needed to complete a task for a kingdom, not anything specific, but just to do it, and they did last episode. So this one has to establish that you just have to explore 5% of the whole terrain. That's it, just 5%. However, they were only up to like 4% or something like that. They were really close.
On the tip.
They were at the tip, and they just needed to just cover more ground. So
since I guess snow came.
Yes.
They were completely lost.
Yeah. So they needed to cover more ground, and their best course of option was to split up in order to cover more ground, which makes sense. The thing that they didn't account for was the fact that it was on the onset of a snow blizzard. How much of this is a coincidence? The main characters are questioning it, which is actually, pretty smart, honestly. Like, if it's actually God trying to test the faith of, not faith, but, test the warrior's skills, then that makes a lot of sense.
I like that the main character himself, he doesn't question it. He's like, oh, this is a game. When he fights the
Yeti?
The Yeti, yeah.
When he fights the Yeti, he notices, I guess when he defeats the Yeti, he notices that the Yeti had kids, I guess, that needed to be fed. And the Yeti mainly attacked Yotsuya in defense, and then mostly because of the fact that he would, like, they were going to starve to death if otherwise. And he killed them, or he killed her. And he didn't know. He didn't know. He didn't know. The very end. But I guess his reaction to it was obviously that, like, oh, these kids, they don't have what it takes to survive. They're what was it? What does he say? Oh yeah, this is a virtual world. You know, this doesn't matter. Yeah. So it kind of, you know, he's thinking rationally, but at the same time, the scene itself is kind of played off as kind of something more edgelordy-ish again.
He's just an asshole.
That's what I meant.
If it comes to that, yeah.
That's what I mean. Like that's how it plays off, because, you know, in terms of how he responded to it, because he also had that kind of grin, which was kind of weird. Like he kind of played it off as kind of like, oh man, I'm like
I didn't see it like that.
I saw it like that.
Oh.
I saw it
you
like
brought
that.
it up from you.
For myself. Yeah, no. From my point of view, I saw it like that because when he left those kids behind, like he kind of talked as if it was like, because he didn't need to say anything. He could have just walked away and just kind of did whatever. You know, I mean, for me personally, I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that he brought that up, he's like, oh yeah, they're gonna starve. There's nothing. He didn't say that in a kind of like, oh, you know, they're gonna starve. The way he said it, I feel like it kind of made it sort of sound more edgelordy. But it was just kind of a little bit compared to the other stuff before. But everybody else kind of falls. They fall because of hypothermia and everything. So not looking too great. And unfortunately, at the end of the episode, Yotsuya also perishes as well. So we get that cliffhanger. Everybody dies, and the game is over. Even though we have 2 more episodes left of the show. So. Are they actually dead?
Why? I don't want to hear.
Oh no! But I mean, you know, again, it's left on a cliffhanger. But hey, the ending was cool though. We got to see the voice actors for Yu play in the snow, and she looked super adorable doing it.
The ending.
Yeah, the ending. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a different ending.
Yeah. And where she was, where the voice actors for Yu was, you know, obviously singing the song. And she was also playing in the snow, so it was adorable. Adorable way to end that episode. All right, moving on, we're gonna be talking about The Day I Became a God, episode 9, and now, oh boy, with this episode, we can definitely see the team's experience working on Angel Beats and Charlotte, because this one was the one that kind of tugged at our heartstrings. Mine in particular. I was devastated by the end of the episode because of just how much they build up to it. And to be honest, I was kind of preparing myself all around of sort of kind of when it was gonna happen. But oh my goodness, the tempo, the beats, the soundtrack, and the characters, like it really got to me.
Do you remember the name of the hacker?
Yes, his name was Hiroto Suzuki, I believe. Yes.
His story was sad.
It was really sad. Yeah, though and it was kind of cool. It was kind of interesting too, because when I remember when they first introduced him, I thought he was going to be basically this cocky kind of like not really a bad guy, but just kind of like a cocky kind of brat character, like a rival sort of.
Like I think we said a while back on one of our podcasts, we thought he was Loki.
Yeah, we thought it was Loki, but now
and then Odin. But now
everything's more fleshed out.
Yeah, everything got fleshed out.
Everything is super fleshed out, so we know exactly what the whole deal is. And now
especially with this episode.
Oh yes, we know everything now.
Yeah.
We find out that Hina is actually we know about her logo syndrome, but now we get to figure out why she's
still alive.
Okay, why she's still alive, and then why she's basically normal now. And the reason why is because they have a super like powerful microprocessor that's implanted into her body, which not only gives her like, you know, full health again, but also I think pretty much lets her see into the future basically. Like she has future sight and future insight as well.
So the company's the higher ups of the company want to take that chip.
The company, exactly. The company that basically hired Hiroto to basically try and uncover this in the first place. They basically said, okay, you did your job. You're good now. You don't got to do anything else. We're going to take over. And he's like, wait a minute. You're not thinking of taking her away just to take the chip away. She's going to die if you do.
Yeah,
but they don't care.
we started seeing changes to him.
Yes.
In general.
Even though he's never met our characters yet, like at all, he's gone through a lot of development in this episode than anything.
So it was his parents, his bosses.
His need for validation, I think, was kind of what got to me the most, because like they showed the scene of him trying to get that piece of information as to what Hina was actually about. Like he kept mentioning that like they're going to throw me away, I need to be useful to somebody.
Yeah,
like that was like you can definitely tell that was
he wanted to hear if he was oh man, thanks, or good job man, or you know, you did well.
Validation was all he really needed. Like he wasn't looking for anything else, and that was, in its own way, that was really sad.
To a point where he was going mad.
Exactly, yeah. It was just heartbreaking to see, but then again, like, the most heartbreaking thing was, of course, towards the end.
Yeah, the hacker dude, he gets locked up, but he still has his gloves.
Yeah, so he was able to send a message over to Hina exactly what's going on, but unfortunately,
I don't think she says that. I think he says it through her.
Yeah. That's. I mean, you said it. You said it yourself. He sent a message. So she pretty much reads that message out loud, since you know she has the computer in her system. She reads the message out loud, basically. So like, okay, this is basically the end, and the end of the world doesn't signify the end of our world, and the end of my world, which is something that we did predict.
Yeah.
Last episode, that like maybe the end of the world doesn't mean the world itself, but more so with her. Maybe it's involving her.
And then our main protagonist, man.
Yota. So the crew tries
to. The world's not gonna end, right?
Yeah.
And then she
says she figures out as to why she knows the world is gonna end is because she can't see anything past that date, and that date, you know, pretty much means that that's when the chip is going to be removed and she's going to inevitably die. And it's sad. It was really it tore me up when I saw that.
The voice actor pushed it, man.
Oh yes, absolutely. Both Hina, both Yota, all of them. Oh my goodness.
That towards the end, yeah.
When the suits grabbed onto him and they took her away. Oh my goodness, it tore me up. And this is where the episode ends. But I'll be honest, I was contemplating on like just thinking like, you know what, this anime, maybe this might not be right for the podcast, because I was just torn up. But you know what, we got 3 more episodes left.
It's good, man. We get to show our opinion of the show.
Yes, yeah, you know? and the fact that we changed up the format, like I feel like this works out the best. Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I can't wait. And hey, once Omar gets back, you know, we're gonna get more input for these shows in particular, for sure. So
yeah,
cannot wait for that. All right, now moving on to the next anime, we're gonna be talking about Taisō-Zamurai episode 9. While Dan Became a God was a super Debbie Downer, this one was like moderate level.
It was still up there, man.
It was still up there, and like a lot of it has to do with when they talked about Jotaro's backstory.
Man.
So And it's funny too because this episode is pretty much a Leo centric episode, and a lot of it has to do with Leo's insecurities.
I like the fact that Jotaro comes in more often now.
Yes.
It was more about him training. Him training the
best, yeah.
But now he's realizing, like, he's opening up to, like, everyone around him.
Yes.
You know? He's fine. Yeah, he's been changing now.
Exactly. He's been changing for the better, and thankfully a lot of that change is being rubbed off on a lot of his other, friends and family. And this one in particular is the person that needs it the most is Leo.
And he noticed it too.
Oh yeah, Leo.
He felt him uncomfortable, and he.
Because we get to see a backstory of what happened 5 years ago, and back in '97, when Jotaro was at a meet, and Leo just happened to be at the stands, just kind of sitting down, seeing the action, and he noticed Jotaro's
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
We get to know why he knows him.
Yep.
You know.
We get to see Jotaro's energy being put forth. Jotaro, that day in particular had so many like important events. Like it's insane. Like first off, we get to see the triple flip that Jotaro basically had to perfect. No, he had to perfect in order to get the official name down and call it the Aragaki. And he does it. But as soon as the second round comes in, he finds news, or he hears news, that his wife has gotten into a fatal accident, and that she's in critical condition. And what does Jotaro do? He decides not to go back to Japan. He decides, nope, I'm gonna stay around for the competition.
Yeah, this time he was.
This was old back then. This was competitive Jotaro. This was Jotaro that was basically like Tetsuo at the time, where he needed to be number one.
Yeah, he didn't care what happened in the moment.
Not
but
at
then,
all.
What happened during the moment?
The shoulder injury.
From the beginning of the episode.
The shoulder injury, exactly. The beginning of this episode that we saw where Jotaro does his flip, but you don't really see the landing happen. That's the reason why, is because he slipped. And
because he was thinking of his wife.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's thinking of his wife, and I hurt his shoulder. And since then, that's been the reason why he's been he's been doted on for going into having to go to retirement.
And it was upsetting too.
Oh yeah.
Once he got home and all that, he was really down.
Yeah. Oh yes.
At that moment.
Watching old videos of his wife and seeing it just devastated him. Like seeing him in this episode was just like heartbreaking. Like in the backstory anyway.
Yeah.
Because now in the present day, it's as if Leo is basically doing the same thing, but he's basically running away from his destiny, or he's running away from his passion.
Yeah, to me, he's Mr. Perfect.
He's Mr. Perfect. He can't do anything wrong, and everybody in the competition, everybody in the ballet scene knows of him and how he's a genius and everything. So he has so much expectations to meet. But at the same time, a lot of jealousy and a lot of people like trying to put him down. So that fear kind of comes to see if he could be able to live up to the plate or not.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I feel like he has just fear of failing in general. Because he saw that Jotaro had a little accident.
Yes.
And he's like, hey man, you shouldn't compete. And I was like, oh, okay, now I see it. Yeah. Now I see even more why the reason Mr. Ninja.
Yeah. Why he got into the ninja business in the first place, and why he quit ballet. And unfortunately, that speech in regarding...
Oh, damn. That got me.
That speech that Jotaro gave in regards to why he wants to still... Because he sprained his... In this episode, he sprained his ankle trying to save an owl. That was, I guess, a super famous owl on
when
TV.
he twisted, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I felt it.
Yeah, and he twisted it, but like he says, hey, I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna give it my go for this.
In general, athletes have these kind of accidents, but they could tie it up a bit.
Yeah.
And stuff. It's not a big deal.
Exactly, and so that's and hey, and as long as his coach says it's fine. I mean, I feel like if it's fine, it's fine. but unfortunately Leo was a bit more overprotective with this one, and he just kind of went on, just says no, you should just stop. And Jotaro gave his speech,
and that was most of it.
Yeah, that was it pretty much. I mean, he runs. Leo runs away from home, and hopefully in the next episode we get to see him fight his demons. But yeah, that backstory though, that was definitely the highlight. Right? Hopefully things will turn out well. And moving on, we're going to be talking about Talentless Nana, episode 10. And this one was also kind of more of a not laid back episode, but more of an info dump kind of episode where we get to see more of
finally
Nana's backstory. Yeah, finally we get to see more.
We get more story.
More story of who Nana was as a person, kind of why she operates as kind of like this emotionless kind of killing machine.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see why her dehumanizing these talented people is kind of easy for her, because her parents were murdered one morning when she woke up, and the perpetrator were talented people. So since then she did not exactly think of talented people too highly. And because of that, she's basically been on this trade, being sent over to this island just to kill every talented in the island, and just get the job done.
That guy's what do you call it? His talent and stuff is really,
senpai, yeah.
Yeah, it's
his
really
talent
powerful.
is very overpowered. He does have a couple weaknesses though. First off, when he transforms into any of the other talented, he shares their weakness. But even worse though is that, like, not only does he share their weakness, but he also doesn't have the training or the acclimation to that power that those people would have had. So for instance, if he transformed into Michiru and used the licking, like, healing ability, he would probably be dead, because Michiru's the downside to Michiru's healing ability is that it shortens her lifespan.
Yeah.
And if Senpai did it, he'd probably be dead.
But he's pretty smart.
Oh
this
yeah,
guy's
yeah.
pretty smart.
I mean, he has to be. I mean, he participated in the
battle royale.
The battle royale from 5 years ago, and he won.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, and like even the fact that, like, everybody turned on each other, like in that school. Apparently 5 years ago they also sent in a similar non-talented person, just like a talentless person, just like Nana, into the thing as well, into the island as well, and he even had a similar phone. Cause he jacks her phone. He kind of studies it a little bit and promises to give her back just so long as she cooperates. Which he does, but at the cost of basically him knowing everything about Nana and why she's doing what she's doing. Which I guess which is a good thing, because we get to find out what's happening. But of course, like the biggest plot twist. The biggest plot twist in the last part of the episode is the fact that a murder happened.
You can say it.
Okay. This is basically Among Us. Okay, the reason why we didn't bring up the whole Among Us comparison before, and again, to David's defense as to why, is the fact that we already knew who the imposter was.
In a
Nana, basically throughout the whole show.
But it was more one person.
Yeah, but this one is kind of more complicated, because now somebody else is killing students, and she's not involved. So she doesn't even know why, and possibly speaking, she might even be framed for some of these murders that she didn't even commit. I mean, some she did, but
yeah.
Some of them won't be, and not looking too great, because Kyoya's already kind of suspicious of her in the first place. So yeah.
So now it's every student knows that someone is killing.
Yup. So yeah, not looking too good at all.
I really hate that teacher.
Yeah. Oh, come on. That teacher was like a.
It don't
The
matter.
teacher's a nothing teacher. He don't count. I mean, hey,
whenever he comes out, he's useless.
I mean, the fact that Kyoya is like trying to be like, okay,
I feel like
wanna...
he's a teacher.
Oh, right?
He
Kyoya?
takes more control.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I feel like anybody can be the better teacher than the actual teacher. Let's be real here.
But yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Now moving on, we're going to be talking about Dragon Quest Dai's Adventure, episode 10. And yeah, celebration to be had, but of course, Hadler and all of them aren't having it all that much. And, for a good reason. Everybody's not looking too happy because, of course, Crocodile. Now, I thought Crocodile like straight up kicked the bucket, but I guess he didn't. He's actually in the kind of like a Dragon Ball Z like healing chamber, which he doesn't look too good because I guess it says that he's gonna have a 50% chance of surviving, which I don't know. In my opinion, I think he will. They're probably gonna bring him back. He's gonna be a mindless zombie. That's my thoughts and opinions. Again, I haven't read up on the source material. I haven't watched the original anime. I don't know.
That wizard-looking dude is gonna experiment on him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe because there's robots too, so maybe we might see Mecha Crocodile or something. But again, this is just from a person that has no idea what the source material was or anything. So who knows?
So we get introduced to all the baddies, huh?
Yeah, we get introduced to Flamezard, we get introduced to Mista something, of course Hadler. We also get introduced to Hyunkel, which actually doesn't show up in the council himself, but he does show up in the episode. And also Jagger.
The one that I liked the most was the one that you said it was Jotaro's voice, or it felt like it was
Dios. It was Dios' voice. It felt like it was Dios' voice, yeah.
Dios, my bad.
Missed something. Like I said,
he looked cool
on the screen. Yeah, he looked pretty cool. Like I like his ability. Like I feel like he's gonna be he's gonna be a threat.
You think so?
Now, yeah, you know what? This whole arc itself, this whole kind of like council of like these evil generals remind me of. They remind me of the four kings from Digimon in the final arc of the first season. I'm not sure if you've seen much of Digimon, but
I did, but I hardly remember.
Yeah, this is an anime from our childhood from the 90s, but yeah, it kind of reminds me of that, where it's like you have Puppetmon, you have Pierromon, Metal Seedramon, and Machine Dramon. So you got those four, and like they were basically kind of like orchestrating the evil scheme to eliminate the Digidestins once and for all. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. So I feel like each one that we're getting is gonna have their own turn.
They were just poking on Dai, man, because he's short.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, okay, but this one, so the last general that fought him was of course Crocodile, and then this one makes a lot of sense because it's actually it's actually the white-haired swordsman that they meet in the halfway of this episode, because mystery, which
it was kind of obvious.
It was really obvious, and thankfully Pop, our boy Pop, knew this.
Yeah, he was questioning
the whole thing. Yes,
so hard.
Even though Dai and Mom were like, hey, what's up, man?
He knows the ability.
He's Avant's student. Yay! But yeah, thankfully Pop knew what's up, and okay. So what's kind of funny was that so even though Hyunka wasn't trying to hide his abilities, he killed the skeletons first. So it looked like he helped him out, and then he brought out more skeletons.
That was weird.
So, okay, in hindsight, I guess it's to kind of throw us off. Oh, is he a good guy? Oh, maybe he might be a good guy. He's Avon's student. Okay, I get that for us, the audience, but in hindsight, that doesn't make sense. Why would you kill your own people just to bring more of them back and attack them?
That was kind of sad too, because they were regular human souls, right?
Right? I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they were, because again, this is
previous that died.
Yeah, because again, when they said that when they invaded the kingdom of Popnica, it was supposed to be fully apparently everybody died. Maybe Leona too, but we don't know. Again, big
she's
quotes.
somewhere else.
Yeah, I've been big air quotes.
Yeah, because our baddie didn't say she was not there.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been super messed up. I feel like if this was like a more adult-oriented story,
Like I killed her.
it would have been it would have been very tragic. I think it would have fit very well.
I like this sword.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
His sword.
even the story compliments it, like, hey, this guy's sword's kind of dangerous. But yeah, we'll see more of Hyunkel in the following episode, so can't wait for that. And next, but last but not least, anime is Jujutsu Kaisen Sorcery Fight episode 10. And man, poor Junpei, like, you feel bad for this guy. Like, okay, despite the fact that, like, obviously this is kind of playing off of the fact that, will he, won't he be, in the dark side or the light side kind of thing. Like, you feel bad for him, and honestly, regardless of, like, what choice he makes,
to me,
I feel like you can't really blame the guy.
Yeah, all the bad thing was happening to him.
Yeah, like, you have this high school kid that's just trying to live his normal life, and literally everybody in the school, everybody that's bigger than him is trying to bully him, either harassing him, like, basically false claims of him trying to, sexually harassing a girl or whatever, feeding him cockroaches, putting out a cigarette on his forehead. Like, it's all messed up stuff. It is awful stuff that they're doing to this kid. And so the one person that he sees, which is the curse, again, name on the screen, don't remember it right now. He's
the
trying
Stitches
to,
guy.
Yeah, the Stitches guy. He's trying to basically justify that,
give
like,
his
these people,
ideals.
Yeah, his ideals. He's trying to spread the knowledge that, you know what, life sucks. Life is just a simple cog in the machine that the world has, just like water.
I thought it was dumb.
Yeah, it was just super dumb. But it's trying to sway him, not us, but it's him, that, you know what, the world doesn't need feelings, basically.
Yeah, and to me, man, I was like, he got him while he's down, and now he's just bringing him into it,
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's some hardcore stuff. Like, it's something that, like, again, makes sense if you're in his perspective, but obviously you don't want to, because he's still impressionable. Maybe there might be, like, a couple things about him that's, like, it's not like Inca from Fire Force. I guess I should probably mention, because Fire Force's Inca was already kind of messed up as it was. So all she needed was just a little bit more of a push to just make her into a fully fledged bad guy, because there wasn't really any kind of, like, intense argument that she was going to be a good guy. But with this one, with Junpei, it's kind of, you can kind of tell that, like, again, he just has a messed up life, and he just needs the guidance. And thankfully,
our boy
Yuji,
it was funny.
Yeah, our boy Yuji is basically carries out the plan and trying to get those curses over to him to kind of see if he reacts to it, and thankfully it works in their favor. And kind of. I mean, he lets it go accidentally, but he catches it on time. And right before Junpei was about to snap at his teacher for mentioning the fact that, like, these boys had passed
I thought
away
he was
were
gonna
friends.
do something, man.
I thought he was gonna do something too, but thankfully Yuji was able to come in to save the day, and
that was hilarious.
Yes, and he read the situation that, like, yeah, those guys, I don't think that guy was your friend. I think you kind of hated him. And he was like, yeah, you figured that out right. I thought that was cool.
When he pulled his pants down and he ran with it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That was funny. And I like how he kind of, like, came back on a lap.
He ran the block.
I ran the block. Yeah, I'm pretty cool.
It's like, how fast did you run?
Yeah, and on the flip side, you also see Nanami try to fight off that same curse. And man, that dude is messed up. Like, he tries to talk about, like, the physiology of, like, a soul, and, like, how you're able to shape a soul. Like, if you shape the body, like, the body itself dies. But if you shape a soul, oh, that's a different story. Then the body, the person can keep on living, but they're just messed up. They don't get their original shape back. Like, that is messed up.
Yo.
Like, oh my goodness.
But
like, body horror is just something that's just not cool. But yeah, Nanami,
yeah.
Nanami puts in some work.
Yes. Yeah, he's at work.
He's at work. But
he mentioned it too.
But towards the end of the episode, he's supposed to clock out of work, so he's forced to do overtime, which is not something he likes doing. So he's gonna have to get a little bit more serious. So.
Oh, and then we get to see a little bit when he actually sees the curse, the messed up curse.
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
Help me! And then he grabs his thumb and then cleans the
tear off.
Tear off the eye. I was like, oh,
yeah,
man.
He cares.
He cares.
He doesn't want to show it, but he cares. That was really nice to see. But yeah, honestly,
awesome.
Yeah, legit, I cannot wait until the next episode. Like this and Attack on Titan for me are like the top of
Robbie thinks he's gonna die.
I think so. Yeah, I think this might be Nanami's like last stand. I don't want it to be because I feel like there's so much more we can see out of him. But I'm used to seeing characters that are like really cool and like you get to see them for a little bit. Hajiki, the best example right there. I thought he was a cool character that we were introduced to. He died the same episode, but still, I thought he was cool. But yeah, so we'll see.
Man.
We'll see. I'm gonna keep my hopes up for you guys.
Keep them high.
All right, and now we're done with anime. We move on to the news. And guess what, guys? King of Fighters 15. A couple days ago, got a teaser trailer
and the logo.
For it. I mean, you can see it on the screen. Unless you're hearing the audio version, but we get character illustrations, yay! And the three characters that we get shown off are
Robbie's the bigger.
I played a lot more of the KOF games, so I'm
yeah.
I'm a lot more I guess I'm a lot more familiar.
Yes.
But we see Kyo, Benimaru, and Shune. Two of which, I mean, are kind of a given, you know, Kyo and Benimaru. They're series staples. They've been in pretty much every single KOF game up till now.
Benimaru had a new makeup. Huh?
Yeah.
Makeover.
Benimaru has a cool new design. His hair kind of feels more like a Super Saiyan hair than it does with Polnareff now. And he has like a floral kind of design, which looks really cool. And Kyo has a headband again.
Yeah, and a sun. he's kicking it old school.
The Orochi saga, yeah. Well, it's kind of old school, but the thing is, it's not entirely old school. It's kind of like a mishmash between Nest Saga Kyo and Orochi Saga Kyo, because Orochi Saga Kyo has the jacket. And you also have the headband, but the Nest Saga onward, he has like a full jacket rather than like the torn up jacket with the t-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Because he had the torn up jacket with the t-shirt before in the older KO. Actually, no, not the torn up jacket. He had the school uniform. This one is just this one's a jacket, but he had the school uniform originally, so he doesn't have that obviously because time and all that stuff. He doesn't go to school anymore.
He's too cool for school.
Hey, but you know who does go to school though? Our actual confirmed protagonist for 15, who's Shune. Yeah, remember that one weird kid with the headphones and like the emo haircut and like the bandages and all that stuff?
I think he looks pretty cool.
So he looks cool in this concept art. I think they might have tweaked his design a little bit. But man, he looked like he was all over the place in 14. From what I remember. Yeah, from what I remember, he was like, because he also had like multicolored hair too. Like he was emo, but he had like a whole bunch of like stuff popping out with his design. Like it was insane with what he had. And then besides those three characters, we also get like glimpses, images of like Leona and K Dash, which of course also makes sense because K Dash and Leona are like again staples at this point. But yeah, back to Shune though. Yeah, he's a confirmed protagonist of 15. Which makes a lot of sense because he kind of had that protagonist aesthetic to him in 14, but again, nothing was confirmed with 14. Pretty much everybody was kind of their own character.
It's like a sequel?
I mean, yeah. Story-wise, I think, 15 is a sequel to 14 in a sense. To the story of it anyway. Yeah. And again, I'm so glad that we finally get some new info regarding 15 and again, the logo, we got the confirmed character illustrations and trailers and stuff. And we're gonna get more, yeah. The ball is finally rolling with getting more and more info for this game. So I cannot wait. Super excited.
We're gonna get more for characters and stuff like that. So we gotta stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right, and I guess our biggest highlight of news of the two is Princess Connect is finally getting a worldwide release. The app game is getting a worldwide release, which actually works great because several episodes ago we talked about Princess Connect, the anime, getting a second season. So again, the more goodness to come. We're getting the actual game, guys. It's not just Japan only. And the best part is that pre-registrations are already available for the game. So if you guys are interested, and if you guys are big fans of the anime like us, definitely give this a shot. Me personally, I think I might have mentioned it here before, but I'm not too big onto mobile games and gacha either for the most part. So you know what, this one might be it for me. I'm actually really interested in trying this out, especially with how fantastic the anime was. I don't know, this one might be it for me.
To me, I could finally read it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you already have an account on the JP servers, but yeah. Yeah, again, with the story again being out in English and stuff, we'll be able to, us US players are finally going to be able to experience the story.
Yes, we can. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, so
pumped.
I know, same here.
I gotta do everything again.
It's okay, man. You got this.
I'll still be playing on the Japanese.
Oh yeah, because your characters and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
I get to work with the characters now for once.
Yeah.
And abilities and everything. Finally.
Yep.
I struggle. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I'm so excited for it.
Yep. All right, and that's it for
video games.
That's it for video game news. Now we move on to anime news. New York Times. So we're gonna keep this pretty brief because this is just something that stood out to us. Yeah. But New York Times has listed "Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken" as 2020's best shows. One of 2020's best shows. And it's not just the anime, just TV series in general. That's a huge deal because, my God, Eizouken was an awesome, fantastic show.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it.
We didn't get to talk about it because we have talked about it in briefly with our pilot episode, which you guys could check out. It's up on our channel and everything. But this was, of course, before we officially kickstarted our channel, before we started doing videos and stuff. And Eizouken was a top tier show for us. It's honestly in the running for one of our favorites animes.
Oh yeah, for me, it's one of my top 10 for sure.
Oh yeah,
maybe 5.
Yeah,
I think 5.
I know we're going to be eventually once the year's over, we're going to be giving our opinion on what our favorite shows for this year is. But hey, the fact that New York Times kind of has their same opinion, it hats off. Kudos, New York Times.
We really enjoyed this show.
Yes, we did. And hey, the fact that this is listed on here gives us an excuse to talk about it more. So I'm happy about that.
I always like talking about it.
Absolutely.
All right,
and now with that, we're done. Again, let us know what you guys thought of our new format. Again, comment below to let us know. And with that, my name is Robbie.
And this is David.
And we'll see you guys next week. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.